All right, so I had to come sound off on this because I was discussing this on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. But if you don't follow me on that social media platform, make sure you guys go over there and follow me at True School Sports, the same way it's spelled on this channel. I'm there. I'm very active. I post a lot. I really do enjoy my interactions there, so definitely go check me out on there. But yeah, man, you know, as you guys can see, there's an American flag back there. I'm an American and a proud one at that. I love being American, but I can see beyond myself, and I'm more than anything, I'm really about fighting for what's right and what I think is fair and just and pure. And this what I'm about to talk about in this video is anything but. And that is the fact that, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, two of the biggest stars in British boxing over the last 10 to 15 years, actually ever in the history of the country, which by the way, the UK has a big place in the history of boxing. They are one of the top, 3 to 5 most important countries in the sport of boxing's history. It's the birthplace of boxing, for crying out loud, right? So that being said, let it not be lost on you guys, the viewers, that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are a very important part of British boxing history. And, these guys have been linked to fighting each other for some years. For one reason or another, it hasn't happened. So now, kind of like in a sense, in a similar sense, kind of like Kell Brook and Amir Khan, they're at the twilight of their career, the 11th hour of their career, and they're gonna give the boxing fans and themselves one last big fight, one last big occasion, one last big payday, right? So that's all fine, that's all well, that's all good, and that's certainly all well and dandy, but this just don't sit right with me because it has been reported that should Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua follow through and fight as it's been reported, that the fight will not be in the UK. Nope. And it won't even be in Saudi. It's going to be in the place where I think it'll be the least desired. And that will be here in the United States of America. Now, I will speak on behalf of the lion's share of American boxing fans and just Americans in general when I say that we don't care about Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. The only fight we care about at this point would probably be Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. That'd be the one we care about. But Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, it's not a fight we really care about. And really and truthfully, I mean, it's not really Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren that's steering the ship. It's Turki Al Sheikh and it's Netflix. Netflix are the ones that are behind this. Netflix are the one that's putting the money up, and we all know Netflix has massive amounts of money that they could put this fight. So they want to put this fight in America, in New York City. Obviously, New York City is one of, if not the media capital of the world. And so with it being Netflix, it gives them the opportunity to potentially cross-promote other things they got going on, other events, other celebrities. So I understand business, I understand promotion, I understand marketing, all that stuff. And I understand it on a deep level, right? So I get why they're doing it. However, that doesn't make it right. And Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, I understand this is the fight game. You gotta get the most money you can, while you can. But man, y'all got a responsibility, and you guys are not carrying that responsibility with very much honor and pride. This fight should be in the UK. This fight should be in the UK at Wembley Stadium in front of 100,000 plus drunk British fans. And anything short of that is a disgrace to the sport of boxing. And Anthony Joshua hasn't been in a real fight for a couple of years now. Tyson Fury hasn't been in a real fight for a couple of years now. Why not go out on a high? Why not give the British fans who have always been so supportive of Anthony Joshua? These are the same fans that filled up the Wembley Stadium when Anthony, 9 years ago, when Anthony Joshua was basically a prospect. They had, basically, and he fought Vladimir Klitschko, and they made it a great occasion there. These are the same people that just, had a pretty good crowd on hand when Tyson Fury just fought his cherry-picking Makhmudov. So you can fight a cherry-picking Makhmudov, but you can't do the one of the biggest fights and arguably the biggest event in the history of the country. You can't do it in the UK. That's not right, and that's a spit in the face to the British fans. And I don't gotta be British to be upset about that. I don't gotta be British to call out what's right. That's wrong. That's very, very wrong. And I think Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua should do everything in their power to get this fight in the UK, because, I mean, I'm sure it'll get a good crowd. You know, Americans we love events, we love big events, and I'm sure for the people that got money in New York City, there'll be people that you know, they find out on the week of the fight that, hey, there's this big fight going on. Let's go to the fight. And you'll get a lot of celebrities that go there that make it feel bigger than what it really is. But I'm telling you guys, from the American standpoint, from the American perspective, we don't listen, man. We like Tony Bellew said it best. Like, we barely care about. But yeah, like I was saying, we barely care about our own fighters here in America. They struggle to get support. So you think we're gonna care about some Brits? Come on, man. I don't care if the heavyweights now. Like, it's just wrong. And this is what I'm saying, man. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why, you know, when people used to always ask me, well, BT, why do you criticize Turkey? Because Turkey lacks common sense sometimes. This is basic common sense. Anybody who knows the slightest bit about Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury knows that this fight needs to be in the UK. And Turkey is the one that has Netflix involved. He is the one that is steering this fight to be in America, and it's wrong. No matter how you want to cut it up, slice it, and dice it, it's just wrong. And, you know, I know that's not going to change things, and I understand the business aspect of it. I understand the financial aspects of it. However, that doesn't change what's right and what's wrong, and this is not right. This is definitely wrong. The British fans are some of the greatest fans, not just in boxing, but in all of sports. And I'm sure, you know, you'll still get a good British contingent that will go out there and support Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury if the tickets are affordable enough, right? Because, again, there's a lot of work. Boxing, for the most part, is a working class people's sport. I doubt they're going to make these tickets ultra affordable. So this fight is not for the average or the working class British folks. This is for the elites of the world and upper crust society. That's this is about. And this is about Netflix using this fight as a platform to cross promote, you know, their events, you know, the actors and the actresses and the athletes and things like that are a part of their the network and their platform, right, to promote. So I get it, man, but like I said, I remember when Tyson Fury was the guy in the division, or like you know, over 10 years ago now. And there was this young kid, Anthony Joshua, who we had all heard he sparred, the gold medalist, right? And he had talked about how Anthony Joshua was putting it on him in sparring. And their names have been linked ever since then, right? Their names have been linked for a long, long time. They are Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are two of the defining heavyweights of their era. You know, in this whole Wilder, Fury, Joshua era, which ultimately really became the Usyk era, because none of them, you know, really decided to grab the reins fully. But they are two of the defining names of their heavyweight era, and the fact that they are not going to fight on the appropriate stage where all their fans are going to be is just wrong. And for the Anthony Joshua side of things, the last time he was at the Garden and you tried to, you know, do a big event, you got plastered by Andy Ruiz all over the arena. So I don't think it's a good idea, right? And if you were going to fight in America at the Garden, it should have been against Deontay Wilder. That would have sufficed. That would have been something worth talking about. That would have been the UK versus America. That would have been a real rivalry fight. In my opinion, in my frivolous opinion, all right? Because I'm just a guy at the YouTube channel at the end of the day, right? I keep it real. In my opinion, the Joshua Fury fight is a safe fight. It's Brit versus Brit. Yes, there's bragging rights. Yes, you know, there's all those things. But, you know, whoever wins this fight is going to be respectable towards the loser and show the old-fashioned British manners. It doesn't have that same hostility of a UK versus America fight at heavyweight, especially when you talk about two guys that were in negotiations for undisputed. There's been a lot said over the years, and, you know, it would really settle the score. And I feel like Anthony Joshua's disservicing himself. He's leaving one of the last great remaining rivalry fights in boxing on the table, and he's probably never going to take it in his career. And that's a shame. So I'll leave it at that, man. Those are my reactions. You know, I'm sure they'll go ahead with it, and it will be a big event, but it won't be all it could be. And you could say too, it wouldn't be all it could be anyway because these guys are in their primes, and that would be true as well. But it wouldn't be all it could be now at this juncture because it's not in front of the great British fans that have supported these guys throughout all the years and make anywhere they go. British fans, listen, British fans make anything, any sport atmosphere special. We just had the World Baseball. We just had the World Cup here in America, and the Brits were going to baseball stadiums. They were going to Marlins Park, home my favorite team, the Miami Marlins. They were going to the Atlanta Braves stadium. They were going to the Red Sox stadium. When the Scottish were in town or the Brits were in town, they would go to these baseball stadiums and they would give baseball even a more livened up atmosphere. So the British fans, man, I give them their due. They are some of the greatest fans in sports, and they deserve to be treated fairly because they always support their own, and I acknowledge that. So I'll leave it at that. How do you guys feel about this? And if you're in the UK, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if maybe I'm not on your guys' side. Maybe you guys don't care anymore. Maybe some of you guys agree. But either way, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.